Hey everyone, and thanks for jumping back into the cryptoverse. Today we're going to talk about Cardano and its native token ADA. So if you guys like the content, please go ahead and subscribe to the channel. Also check out the Telegram channel in the description below and give the video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content. So today we're going to go over where Cardano is currently, the price of Cardano with respect to fiat, with respect to Bitcoin. We're also going to look at a kind of a fun perspective on projecting, what would the price of ADA be if it had the market cap of some of the other cryptocurrencies in the top 10. So again, go ahead and subscribe, and let's go ahead and jump in. So if you're not familiar with Cardano, they launched their testnet a while back, and it's going pretty well. The launch of Shelly is is likely going to be happening here in the next month or so. So a lot of the price run up you see, I'm speculating, is in anticipation of that very thing. And we've been following ADA for quite a while now. You can see that this is the Bitcoin valuation chart. We made a lot of videos in this region saying this looks like to be a pretty decent accumulation region. And one of the reasons is just because during this time from August of 2019 to April of 2020, Cardano was holding its own in terms of its valuation against Bitcoin. It wasn't continuing to go down like a lot of coins. It wasn't going up either. It was more or less just staying in this window, which looked like a good accumulation range for Cardano. And we even made a video when it dropped down to 2 cents or so, 2 or 3 cents, a few times, noting its undervaluation at the time. So since we've been covering it, you can see this move. Cardano has been continuing to move up. As long as Bitcoin, the thesis that we've been saying all along, and this does not apply for all coins. I'm only, it applies to the coins that I think actually have, that are actually useful and have a future. And that's why I talk about it with these coins. So, as long as Bitcoin continues to do its thing, stay above the 20-week, even more so above the 50-week, Cardano, I think, is going to continue to do okay. And you can see, if you look at the Bitcoin chart, you can see that we're mostly just moving sideways. So if you look at the last several weeks, Bitcoin has basically just been within this range of $8,700 to $10,000. And we know this is important for crypto, just to move sideways in some of these regions, just to build up support. Certainly a break to the upside would be fantastic for Cardano, because just the general sentiment of cryptocurrency would be better than it is today. But as we said, as long as Bitcoin just kind of stays where it is, then Cardano is likely going to continue to do well. And I think that has been the case. I mean, if you look at its valuation with respect to the US dollar, you can see it kind of comes up, it retraces a little, it comes up, retraces, moves sideways, it goes back up. This pattern is going to repeat even in a bull market. You're not going to see anything go up monotonically. There's going to be times when people take profits. Before I get back into these charts, I want to show you something else. So I want to pull up this here, and this is just to talk about, hypothetically speaking, what would the price of ADA be if it had the market cap of other coins. So just with its current market cap, you can see it's down here at around 8 cents. The downside to plotting it like this on a linear scale is it's really hard to distinguish what's going on between, say, ADA, if it had the market cap that it currently has, versus EOS versus Litecoin. It's really hard to tell what's going on over here. So let's go ahead and switch that to a logarithmic scale. If you're not familiar, this is each major tick is 10x. So this is 10 cents, $1, $10. So of course we know that with the current market cap, ADA is around 8 cents. If it had the market cap of EOS, it would be around 9 cents. Of Litecoin, we would actually be over 10 cents. You can see we might be closer to, say, like 11, just over 10 cents, but clearly still pretty far away from 20 cents. With XRP, though, we're really starting to move up. At this point, we are over 30 cents. With Ethereum, so if Cardano had the market cap that Ethereum has today, then the valuation of ADA would be $1 per ADA. So that would be pretty nice. And then finally, if it had the market cap of Bitcoin, which I know some of you are thinking, like, why is he showing this stuff? There's a reason for it. So if it had the market cap of Bitcoin, then the valuation of one ADA would be around $6 or $7. Now, some of you are naturally thinking, why does this matter? And before I show that, I want to remind you, this is the Telegram channel. Go ahead and join that. If you want to join the premium list, you can check out my website at intothecryptoverse.com. But let me talk about why, you might think that this is just preposterous. Why would you compare, a projected market cap of Cardano versus Bitcoin when I even contend that Bitcoin will remain the king? I also think that Ethereum, the market cap of Ethereum, will likely stay ahead of Cardano. Clearly that might not be the case, but I do hold more Bitcoin than Ethereum, and I do hold more Ethereum than Cardano. But here's why I think it matters. So if you go back, and we know that past results don't indicate the future. If you go back to a historical snapshot, so let's look to see what the crypto market looked like November 15th, 2015. Here we are. We see that the market cap of Bitcoin was around 4.7 billion. XRP was 138 million. Ethereum was a modest 67 million. So, when you're looking back at, where things were and where they can go to, if Cardano goes to the market cap that Bitcoin has today, then the valuation of Cardano would be around $6 or $7 per ADA. Okay, but that's assuming that the valuation of Bitcoin is much higher. It could be, the market cap of Bitcoin at the time could be 2 trillion. Okay, if you look at the current market caps today, you can see that the market cap of Bitcoin is 173 billion. Okay, but here's what I want to draw your attention to. The market cap of Ethereum is 25 billion. Back here, it was only 67 million. But the thing to take note is that the market cap of Bitcoin in 2015, November 15th, 4.7 billion. Today, the market cap of Ethereum is 5 times what Bitcoin's was back in 2015. Okay, so you're looking at, here you're looking at 25 billion versus Bitcoin's less than 5 billion back in 2015. So a lot of people think, well, how could the valuation of Cardano, how could one ADA ever reach, say, $6 or $7? Because that means that it would have a market cap, of 178 billion, and we know that, or 173 billion, and we know that that can't be the case because, well, that's what the market cap of Bitcoin is, and we're not expecting, an altcoin to flip Bitcoin during this market cycle. At least I'm not. Let me know if you disagree in the comment section below. But the thing that you have to consider is that if Cardano is going up to a valuation of, say, 170 billion market cap, then it implies that the entire cryptocurrency market cap as a whole has gone up to around 10 trillion. And I've shown this in a logarithmic regression analysis of the entire cryptocurrency market cap, looking at around 10 trillion or so. That would put the valuation of Bitcoin at around 2 trillion plus or minus, 500 billion or so. I mean, what's a few hundred billion among friends? And then if Cardano, captures, 173 billion of a projected $10 trillion market cap, it's really not that far-fetched to think about. And if you're new to crypto, you might think, how could this possibly be? How could, this doesn't make sense. He's talking about, looking at the price going up. If the price today is 8 cents, then a 10x from here would be another 80, to 80 cents, and then another 10x would basically be around $8. So we're talking about an almost 100x. But I will alert you to the fact that, in crypto, you can see these types of moves. There's a lot of micro caps that have already gone up 50x in the last 2 weeks. Typically, they just go crashing right back down, which is why I don't talk about these coins. I'm not interested in partaking with that on the channel. But if you look at the history, it is possible. I mean, for instance, $1,000 investment into Ethereum in November of 2015, as we showed, would have actually resulted in a payday of, I believe, 1.5 million in January of 2018. So these things are possible. We do know that macro level volatility of Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency market cap as a whole is decreasing. We're aware of that. But I do still think there's going to be some gems from from we look back and when it's say 2023, 2024, we talk about lengthening cycle theory on the channel. When we look back and look, okay, what were the great success stories of the 2023 bull run? I think Cardano is going to be one of them, and I think part of the reason is because it's everything so far is going smoothly. Obviously there's been a lot of FUD out there, fear about and doubt regarding quote unquote vaporware. I mean, the whole idea of calling it vaporware is a little bit ridiculous because, it was in its development phase. Their projects go through development phases. Ethereum did something, Ethereum launched its mainnet and it's using proof of work, and they hope, that the plan, right, is to transition to proof of stake at some point. Cardano did it differently. They said, okay, well, we're not going to bother with that. We're going to do it right the first time so that we don't have to go back later and clean up the mess. The better method is up for debate. Ethereum has a huge head start in terms of development, people working on the project. Obviously, that's Cardano's main competition. It's clear that it's Cardano's main competition. The test for Cardano is, do people actually want to use it? Are people going to build on top of it? This is what ultimately, time will tell what happens there. But, it's not too hard to imagine that if Ethereum, 2.0 gets delayed continuously, and some of you might think like, well, I don't think it's going to be delayed. Well, I can assure you that in 2015, if you had told me that by 2020, the transition would still have not taken place, I probably would not have believed you. So don't discount that possibility. Again, I'm still bullish on Ethereum. I do hold more Ethereum than Cardano. I'm just here to tell you my opinions on the market as a whole. But Cardano is my primary hedge against Ethereum. And believe me, I get it. There's an Ethereum killer around every corner. I ignore most of them. Cardano is my main hedge. And one of the reasons why I think it's so important to, when we were back in this region over here, when we were trading at, a couple pennies, 2 or 3 pennies, one of the nice things about getting in at these levels is, the risk is relatively low. If you throw a little bit of money into it, obviously you could lose it, but it's not like we're recently up 100x and you're just playing with fire. If you invested at, say, 2 cents, which you would have had the opportunity to do, 2 or 3 cents, let's just say 2 cents. If you'd invested in 2 cents, by the time it gets to 10 cents, you're already at 5x. So, let's say you throw in $10,000 or something into Cardano. Like if you did that when it was, or let's just say you were able to purchase 100,000 Cardano or ADA. Let's say you purchased 100,000 ADA tokens at 2 cents. By the time you get to 10 cents, it's already worth 5x that. If you waited until 10 cents to purchase, to say, okay, this one isn't just another coin that's going to zero, then you're getting 5 times less. Okay, so then in the future, if Cardano goes to say $5 or $10, maybe maybe you have your ROI of $100,000 or something if you had invested at 10 cents, but those who had invested, say, 2 cents would have had an ROI of $500,000. These small but subtle, timing things early in a market cycle and really make a huge difference later on. Now, again, we stay level-headed on the channel. I'm not saying that Cardano is about to go to $5 tomorrow or anything. I think that it's going to be a long market cycle. I think that, again, 2019, 2020, and 2021 are the years to accumulate, and hopefully for like a peak in, say, 2023, plus or minus, say, 6 or 8 months. So the earliest potentially being the end of 2022, and the latest hopefully being, say, the second quarter of 2024, where I think 2023 is kind of that sweet spot where it's going to happen. So it's, don't expect it to flip overnight to $100 billion valuation. We recognize the risks involved. It could obviously go to zero if people just don't want to build on top of it, and tons of coins just get shaken out of the market. But I don't think that's going to happen. It is my hedge against Ethereum. So thank you for listening to the rant. Let's just finish up, by looking at these charts a bit more. So I did want to draw your attention to the fact that, here's the Bitcoin chart. So this is the ADA Bitcoin chart. And I'm not generally a huge fan of drawing imaginary lines, as you guys know, but I thought it was interesting that if you do draw this line, it seems to kind of hold its own in terms of a resistance level here, 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 a short resistance here, and then now it's acting as support. So, I mean, clearly we can easily fall through this and continue back down. I'm not saying we can't, because if you had drawn a similar line, let me just undo that. Let me say if you had drawn a similar line over here and say connected these, then you may have thought it was important. Clearly, it didn't end up being that important because we just came back down. But again, it's still interesting to the eye to see this resistance level ultimately being broken and then now holding it as support. The other thing that I wanted to show was our prior bottom back in December of 2018, and again this is with respect to Bitcoin. Let's not do the wick. Let's just take the candles. It was here. Okay, so this was our prior bottom, and you can see that it's also kind of acting as our current resistance area. So if you look kind of in this region, this is where we've come up to, and we came back down to this general trend line here. Again, I'm not putting a lot of validity in the respect that the price is going to play to these lines that I just drew on the chart. But I do think it's interesting that we have really broken out. And again, the reason why this is important is because this is a breakout with respect to Bitcoin. And we said that as long as, we said over here and even way back over here that as long as if Bitcoin gets above the 20-week, and things keep going well for Cardano, the testnet goes well, the mainnet is about to launch, we think that things will continue to move up. And in the short term, I think they at least have. If you go back to the USD chart, this is the, I've been buying, I have bought a decent amount of Cardano the last couple of years. I'll probably stop buying it when it gets to 10 cents. Not because I don't think it can go up higher. Like I certainly think it can, but it's just that in terms of my own risk tolerance, I don't want to continue purchasing it at 10 cents when I had 2 years to purchase it at 3 or 4 cents. Okay, so it's all about risk reward, diversifying yourself. Being diversified not only in cryptocurrency, even within cryptocurrency, looking at different sectors of cryptocurrency, right? I mean, smart contracts and kind of the backbone is one thing, but then there's other sectors of crypto as well. And then also diversifying in terms of other asset classes like equities or real estate or precious metals, commodities, whatever it may be. There's other things that you likely want to diversify yourself with, so that if crypto drops 50% tomorrow, you're not saying buy to half of your net worth. Okay, so this is the primary point I want to make. I'll stop buying it at 10 cents. And it's possible we get up there relatively soon. The main thing that you have to look out for if you're following Cardano but not really following Bitcoin, you should follow Bitcoin. As long as Bitcoin stays up in this region, so the 20-week moving average is at $8,300. As long as we stay above that, I don't think Cardano is going to crash back down to 3 cents or anything. If you see us drop below this, then I'll likely consolidate a lot of my altcoin positions back into either Bitcoin or stable coins. And again, as long as we're above the 20-week and the 50-week, then we're especially bullish. So don't let these like wicks down here shake you out of the market. I mean, this is just par for the course. We know that during a bull market, we need to hold the 20-week as support. But even though we hold it as support, there's still going to be several 30% drops. Here's a 30% drop. Here's another 30% drop. This is Bitcoin. 40% drop. Here's another one. A 30, all the way down to the bottom, 36% drop. These are going to happen. And if we're talking about a lengthening cycle that's going to take place over 3 years, we're going to see this happen time and time again. If you can't handle that, then you have to really think about, are you invested in the right asset class? Because crypto will chew you up and spit you out if you can't handle the volatility. So I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I like to make a Cardano video fairly frequently, so please subscribe to the channel so that we can continue to follow this coin in 2020. When I talk about future valuations, if we were to reach, say, $5 or something, remember that if we were to reach those places, it would not be sustainable for very long, especially if we shoot up there, if we slowly climb to $1 over the next 2 years, and then shoot to $5 or $10 within a matter of a week or two. Don't let the greed overcome you, because what will happen is likely what happened in 2017, 2018, where you thought it was just going to keep going up forever, and then it did. You're also going to see a lot of other YouTubers pop up during that time if it does go up that high, and they're going to, everyone's going to be an expert, basically. They're going to be making YouTube videos saying Cardano is going to $100 or $500. This is just noise. In one sense, I'm bringing you this information now so that in 2023, maybe you'll listen to me when I'm telling you, like, the risk is extremely high. Tread with caution, or proceed with caution. Okay, so I hope you guys enjoy the channel. Please subscribe to the YouTube channel, and also check out the Telegram channel in the description below. We have around 3,600 people in the group. And then if you want access to the premium content, which we do have a risk metric for ADA, which is what I use personally to trade against ADA. Right now I'm just buying, but if you wanted to see how I use it in terms of, say, dynamically DCAing in and out of the market, then check out the premium list at intothecryptoverse.com. So I hope you guys enjoyed it. I will see you guys next time. Bye.